Hello everyone, welcome back to the course of cryptography and system security. Now we'll begin with the third chapter, that is hash, message digest, and the digital certificates. So in this chapter, we are going to have the cryptography and hash function. So as far as the hash function is concerned, it is one of the important hash function in the cryptography systems, in which we can say there is a fixed number of fixed size of block is being preferred for encryption of the plain text. So as far as the conversion is concerned of the variable length block, which is having the m data and as an input to the as an input, or we can say it is a plain text to the encryption algorithm, which produces the fixed size hash value, that is h, small h, which is dealing with the uh, input data size. uh, so as far as this particular hash function is concerned, it has the encrypted value, encrypted size of the data equivalent to the block size of the data. So what we are going to specify here in this function is some of the important properties which are giving the more and more depth of the encryption into this particular encryption process. So as for your information, this particular hash function is based on the um, uh, that is asymmetric key process, that is when we are going to have the public key and private key combinations. So in that case, this particular hash function has some specific properties. Some results of the applying the function to a large set of input will produce the outputs that are evenly distributed and apparently random. So the major function which is related to this is data integrity. When we apply the cryptography hash function to the security purpose, then it is called as a cryptographic hash function. It is one of the vital because of the public key and private key applications, because in order to make the unidentifiable encrypted data, the some attacks are there, some specific attacks on the data is there, and that data can be steal and modified or replaced. Some and user on the receiver side may not be able to identify the data, whether it is sent as a authenticate or the as it is sent and as it is received. For that purpose, there are certain functions which are being imbibed and which is made this plain text undisclosed, a plain text to be undisclosed to the attacker. So it is in the algorithm for which it is computationally infeasible. So making this particular use of this function, the data to be computationally infeasible, because no attack is significantly more efficient than the brute force. And to find either a data object that maps to a pre-specified result, hash result, that is a one-way property, and to two data objects that map to the same hash result, that is a collision-free property. So cryptographic hash functions can be elaborated with the help of this small logical diagram. If you can have the L bits of the message of the data, and along with the header which is containing the padding plus field, that is BL, so which is given to a certain processing unit and producing the hash value, that is H, which is of fixed length. So the input is padded out to an integer multiple of some fixed length. Suppose take an example of 1024 bits, and the padding includes the value of the length of the original message in bits. So this length field is a security measure to increase the difficulty of for an attacker to produce an alternative message with the same hash value. So attacker cannot easily have the alternative to this particular message length. Some of applications of the hash function is, first is authentication, message authentication. as we have already seen the authentication, one of the important parts in the cryptography. So the perforated identity of the sender is validated into this authentication process. So this specialty for the hash function value is often referred to as a message digest. So when we use this particular message digest into place, then we can have the a more security to the data. The sender computes the hash value as a function of the bits in the message and transmit both hash values as well as message. So the receiver performs the same hash calculation on the message bits and compares this value with the incoming hash value. If this particular this is a mismatch, then the receiver knows that the message is altered, has been altered. So first type of attack that we can say is with the help of use of the hash function to check the data integrity. The attack can occur on the data. So this is one of the examples that Alice sent the data to the Bob with the hash function, data is being modified to data dash, and it is being compared again with the hash function. Now here the data is being modified and the Bob comes to know that data is modified, altered. Second is man in the middle attack. So in this case the Darth, which is a mediator or attacker, which is changing the data along with the H functions. So here in this case the data is being modified to data dash, and which is being again added with the additional H function, and the total data is being modified, which is sent to the Bob, and later on the Bob come to know that data is not data, it is data dash something, which is something else which is different than the original data set. So this is a kind of attacks in which we can see the mediators can modify. This is one of the active attack that we can see. The data can be stealed and modified or replaced with the original data. So second application for the hash function is a digital signature. It is a similar similar to the message authentication. Its operation is similar to the message authentication code MAC, or it is also called as a key hash function. The hash value of the message is encrypted with the user's private key. This is very important. User's private key is being preferred for encryption process. Now anyone who knows the user's public key can verify the integrity of the message that is associated with the digital signature. Now the attacker who wishes to alter the message would need to know the user's private key. Now diagrammatically we can show the example of the digital signature where source A is providing the message to the destination B. In the first diagram A, in which we can say there is a message block is being attached with the hash function and encrypted with the private key and sent over the channel for generating the encrypted message that is with the private key and H function, and which is given to the decryption algorithm with the public key, and which is compared again back to the hash function of the destination. Now this is a very simple way to understand this application of digital signature. But in a second way, in which we can say this is a kind of a hash function encoding encoded code, or using the encryption algorithm, there is a hash code is being generated. Now here after the regular process, the encryption with the key, additional key is being referred, and this particular code is being generated. This is called as a hash code, in which we can say there is a decryption at the decryption side. Also the key is being referred in order to retrieve this particular original data. So this encryption code is essential into this particular digital signature format, because this gives a specialty for the digital signature. Now, in elaboration, we can say the hash code is encrypted using the public key encryption with the sender's private key. As in the figure B, this provides the authentication. It also provides a digital signature because only the sender could have produced the encrypted hash code. This is the encrypted hash code. Now, in fact, this is the essence of the digital signature technique. Next is the confidentiality. One of the important aspect of the that is the service that is provided. Confidentiality as well as the digital signature is desired when then the message plus private key encrypted hash code can be encrypted using the symmetric secret key. So that is a specialty for the digital signature. This is a very common technique which is being preferred for the digital signature. Some other applications for this hash algorithm is like it can create a one-way passport password file. Um, it can also be used used for the intrusion detection and the virus detection. It can be used to construct the pseudo-random function (PRF) or the pseudo-random number generation. So these are the details about the hash algorithm and its applications. So in the next video, we're going to see the properties and the various types of hash functions.